for another stream this evening. It's first off, guys, since this is the start of the stream, it's good to be actually able to stream a little later tonight. It was a little past what I thought I was going to, but I did hang out with my friend tonight, like I mentioned yesterday. But I decided, you know what, stream for a little while. So thankfully, I was able to make it overall. So I'm here. I mean, that figures, right? You know. But yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it or stream tonight or not, so I'm just glad that I was able to. But either way, it's good to be here, guys, honestly. If I wasn't going to stream tonight, I probably would have tomorrow night, Sunday night. If I would have gotten the chance, I might still stream tomorrow night. I'm not 100% sure on that yet since it is Easter, but we'll see. We shall see. Either way, I guess for the start of the stream now, we'll see if we get some people rolling in, you know, get some chat going, some Q&A going. If not, I guess I'll just talk with you guys for a little bit, you know, that kind of thing. But, yeah, as far as my plans for Easter tomorrow, I am just speaking toward Easter, you know, as a topic. Excuse me. Oh, for one, by the way, we've talked about sweet tea yesterday, and I have some in a Doctor Strange cup. So, Marvel fan, right? Oh, that feels good. That tastes good, too. I love tea. As we previously mentioned the other evening. But yeah, as far as my things for Easter goes, I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I know I'm going to have dinner, and I think I'll have time for stream tomorrow night. Yeah, you're live. Hey, Phil, what's up, man? Good to see you in the chat this evening. Yes, man, I am indeed live tonight. I know I mentioned yesterday I wasn't sure if I was going to be streaming or not, but I had time. I did visit with my friend, but he left earlier, so I had time to start the live stream. A little later than I wanted to, but it's only a little past 11. Not a big deal, right? But yeah, I'm glad to be here streaming tonight. It's always a good thing, I suppose, anyway. But yeah, I'm just glad I was able to, because again, I wasn't sure. Oh, and I brought tea to this one. I know we talked about sweet tea in yesterday's stream, but I brought some. Oh, anyway, how's it going for you, Phil? Just you plan on doing some chats, some Q&A, you know, the usual stuff that we did the other day, that kind of thing, you know, kind of moving along. I don't know how else you put it. Also got the old laptop pulled up here as well, just in case we have anything to look up or reference on stream, like kind of like what we did yesterday as well. By the way, yeah, how are you doing, Phil? You doing well? You play any COD recently? I know tomorrow night is not tomorrow night. Tomorrow is Easter, so big holiday celebration tomorrow. At least for me personally, because I don't know how many of you guys watching on YouTube celebrate Easter personally, but I'm one of the people that do. Or that does. That makes more grammatical sense. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up another tab just in case we look up something else. Pretty good. Me and Jesse played the whole World at War campaign. That's pretty cool, man. How long did it take you to beat the entire World at War campaign? Did you beat it all in one night last night, or did you play it some today? And, like, was it like a couple hours last night and a couple hours today, or how did that kind of work? I'm just curious to see how long it took you to beat it. I mean, because it could... Honestly, it could be... I've seen people beat it in a few as, like, 6 hours, and some people take even longer, for, like, 12. I'm not kidding. It sometimes takes people a long amount of gameplay in order to beat some of these games nowadays. I'm not even going to comment on No Man's Sky. That game was long enough with the load times. One of the biggest criticisms for that game was the load times. And sadly, Sea of Thieves seems to be following that direction. If you guys didn't know about that, they're calling Sea of Thieves the 2018 version of No Man's Sky. We played a couple hours last night and today. Okay, so a couple hours last night and today. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, it's not like I expected you to, like, speed run the entire game in one night, you know? Because that would be a little ridiculous. I mean, I don't know anybody who would have that... Unless you have a bunch of free time during the night, I don't really expect anyone to just breeze through an entire COD game like that, you know? It just doesn't make any sense, you know? Oh, my. Probably should not have brought that tea to stream, because now I'm going to chug it all. It's not a good idea. Oh. But yeah, that's cool though, man. I honestly did... Yeah, I just honestly wasn't sure how long it took you to beat World at War, because I've seen gameplays on YouTube. People have broken up into several parts. Some, it takes them longer than just a couple hours for like 2 days. Some of them take 24, believe it or not. I've seen a couple of them like that. It's crazy, to be honest. Just to see like how many people play this game and then how many people finish at different times. It depends on your level of player too, I suppose. Depending if like you're a casual fan or like you're a hardcore fan. You don't have to be really either to play those games. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is it depends on how interested you are in game franchises, because I know that's another thing that's like been a big topic of debate in the gaming community. It's like with Cuphead, for example. I don't know if like Phil, you've played Cuphead, or anyone else watching on YouTube has played Cuphead, but that game was involved in controversy in the beginning. It wasn't rated. It was rated poorly because a journalist couldn't get past the tutorial, which was the easiest thing to do in the game because of all the boss fights and whatnot. But people judged the game before it even, anyone even really got a chance to play it. The journalist gave it negative reviews because he was terrible at the game, whereas everybody else praised the game. It had its issues, but everyone else praised the game for the graphics, the gameplay, the uniqueness of bringing in 1930s aesthetic cartoon into a modern-day age. And this game is going to be remembered for a long time. But the subject of, should we judge a game based off of journalist reviews, or should we judge it for ourselves? And that's what kind of raised the whole topic of debate for, do you have to be good at video games to give it a good review, or should we listen to reviews? And I know that's a big stretch, I know, from, talking about how long it took you to play COD, but, it's just a rising thing. Cuphead, I think, sparked this new topic of discussion ever since it came out, and people have just been wondering this about a whole bunch of different kinds of games. And personally, I think that if you want to properly judge a game, and you want to see if it's good, you play it for yourself. Don't take the reviews for face value. Play it for yourself, But I'm not saying going out and spending like a fortune on like a video game. Like if there's a game out there that you like, that you want to try for like $30, I say go for it. But if there's like $100 game, heaven forbid, the game's worth that much and it's trash, then no, don't spend $100 on that game, because it's definitely not worth it, by far. But I don't know. I don't know what you think about that, Phil, to be honest. But it's a big thing with a lot of gamers, and I've seen it a lot more in the community day after day with people talk about all these new video game releases. And like Sea of Thieves, for example, it's a relatively new still, but people have given it negative reviews, not just based off of all the issues and crashes and glitches with the game, but the fact that people they thought it was hard. And they didn't even play the game at first. They listened to reviews from the game companies without testing it out themselves. And that's just something that I've wondered personally. I don't know if anybody else has really thought of it that way, but some people have in terms of reviews. And I just don't think that it's right to critique a game before you even get a chance to, play it, Actually, speaking toward Cuphead, though, that is a game I actually do want to play on Xbox One. I have to get the game. You have to buy it. I was surprised that you couldn't buy a physical copy of it on Xbox One. You have to buy a code and digitally download it. So I was kind of surprised by that, but still, though, you still pay about the same price. Now, I'm looking here at the reviews. Yeah, Cuphead got mostly positive reception here. Just to read off a couple of them. I don't know what is my laptop's problem here. There we go. Yeah, like Metacritic gave it an 88 out of 100. Destructoid gave it 9.5 out of 10, 8.8 out of 10, 86 out of 100, 8.5 out of 10. It's surmised around the 8 out of 10 to 9 out of 10 range. And the game was very well received, because games made like this nowadays are considered works of art. Especially consider games like Bendy and the Ink Machine, for example, that indie horror classic. That's another game that was with like the 1930s cartoon aesthetic and whatnot. That is something that people just absolutely love. And it's interesting, I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty cool. So let me take a look here. But yeah, just goes to show how popular games like that are nowadays, guys. It's kind of crazy, honestly, when you think about it. Yeah, but anyway, besides all that, I don't know how we got sidetracked from. I got sidetracked from talking about COD with Phil to talking about stuff going up in the gaming community. It's just something that's been on my mind as a gamer, to be honest. It's not okay. I shouldn't say that. It's not really on my mind. More so, it's just, how do I put this? It's something that doesn't really need to be in the community that I'm into, and millions of other people are into as well. So I don't know. I think it just solely depends. But, yeah, see, I'm not even 100% sure what to talk about tonight, guys, to be honest. It's kind of hoping for a Q&A type thing, but, I mean, we did that for the past 2 nights. Even so, though, even if, you know, nobody else shows up, that's alright. I'll just talk with you guys that watch this on YouTube. Bad way of saying YouTube. But, yeah, guys, I'll just take the opportunity to start talking about some channel stuff. As far as upcoming videos, or, not live streams, but as far as upcoming videos go, I am planning on coming out with that Crash Twinsanity review that I was talking about before. Debating now over the Tomb Raider review, because I'm not 100% sure if I want to do that now, but we could certainly try. I mean, if that's something, I don't know if I'll end up doing that. I'm still trying to come up with a couple of video ideas. I am still floating around that idea of doing that whole fan art video. Now, the problem is I'm not sure when to do it, because I'd rather, to be honest, I'd rather do this next giveaway first before I, do that fan art video. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, because the giveaway for that PS4 code card is next Friday or over the weekend. It depends, one of the two. And after that, I'm thinking about doing the whole fan art video. So, again, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to end up doing, but we'll see. We'll see. That's all I'm really going to say about that for right now, because I don't want to say that I'm going to be releasing the video at some point in the next couple of days or the next week or week and a half, and then it doesn't happen. And that's why I don't really have a set video schedule. When it comes to the streams, I usually say on stream if I'm going to end up doing a stream on like the next day. Like in yesterday, I said I wasn't sure if I was going to be streaming tonight or not, but I don't want to go on my way and say like, I'm going to be streaming on this day at this. I'm always going to be streaming. The stream will mostly start between 10 and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is set. But like, I don't want to say that I'm going to be streaming one day and then it doesn't happen. Then you guys are wondering, why didn't he stream? Is something going on? Did he lie to us? No, that would never be the case. I would never do that to you guys. But that's why when it comes to my videos too, I generally try to upload between the standard times that are set for like the best YouTube traffic. Like on Mondays, for example, it's between 2 and 4 p.m. Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Thursdays and Fridays is between noon and 3 for the best time to upload a video. And over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday, it does not give a set time, but it does say just early bird gets the worm. That's literally what it says. I'm not kidding. So I guess the earlier you upload on the weekend, the better, I suppose. Of course, I'm not saying upload a video at 3 a.m. in the morning or 4 a.m. because generally, unless you frequently upload at that time, you're not going to have that much luck. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. But either way, though, that's why I was just saying, like, I didn't want to plan out certain things and they don't end up happening. That would be really crappy of me. Oh, but either way, see if we get anybody else in stream today, and then maybe answer some questions and whatnot. If we get any. If not, I'll talk about some YouTube stuff and whatnot. That kind of thing. Luckily, I'm glad I have the laptop here. That way we can look up anything, just like the other day. We can look up some stuff with frequency in stream. On stream, in reference. Now that I'm actually thinking about it, guys, what I actually wanted to, or one thing I want to do, is I actually want to look up something to do with gaming. If I can pull it up here. Give me one sec, guys, to pull up the great power of Google. Obviously, that's a website. Don't judge me. Alright. I actually wanted to look up. Give me one second here, guys. Actually, forget the gaming discussion. I don't know what I was talking about. I actually wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about some theories that I had for Avengers Infinity War. Now, yes, I know that's completely something random to talk about, but I am a Marvel fan, and since nobody is really here in the stream right now or in the chat, I figure I want to talk about something interesting with you guys while I'm here. But if nobody ends up coming to the stream tonight, I'll probably end up... wow, I can't talk again. I'll probably end up cutting off the stream a little bit earlier tonight, just because... just because that part of the reason that I stream is to interact with people and not just sit here and talk with myself the whole time. Of course, if you guys on YouTube watch the streams, I'm not talking about you guys at all. I'm just talking about I love interacting with people. In the past few streams we've done, there's been a lot of traffic, and I've really enjoyed interacting with all the viewers and the people that come by. So, but again, I just don't want to be sitting here talking with myself the entire time for like an hour and a half, that kind of thing. I'd rather have some kind of viewer or fan interaction, you know what I mean? If that makes any sense. So frankly, if we don't get any traffic, I'll probably end up just stopping the stream a little bit early. But yeah, guys, I did want to actually talk about a couple of things with Infinity War. The first thing was, I can't believe Chris Evans, I think they announced Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, the guys who play Iron Man and Captain America, were actually ending their roles a little bit early. Or not early, I think they said something about not doing Iron Man or Captain America anymore after the future movies, which has led to a lot of speculation about who's going to actually end up dying in Infinity War. Now, I don't think either of them, if... Spoilers for you guys if you, haven't seen this news yet. But they released set pictures, I believe, for Avengers 4, so this is the movie after Infinity War. And Captain America was seen on set, so was Iron Man. Ant-Man was seen on set as well, and I forget who, it was Hulk. Set what looked like during the first, the first clash they had in the first Avengers movie. So, there's been a lot of speculation with that as well, that there's going to be time travel involved, that there's going to be some... Maybe it's another dimension or something like that. Personally, I have no idea what they're going to end up doing for the movie. With all the news that's been coming out lately, this movie, for one, is highly anticipated. Probably one of the most... Actually, this is probably the most anticipated movie of the year, besides maybe some other ones coming out, because I know Ant-Man and the Wasp is coming out. The Deadpool... Okay, Deadpool 2. That one might be more anticipated than Infinity War, if anything. Let me see here. Oh, they're coming out with Dark Phoenix for the X-Men. Aquaman, I don't know if Aquaman is highly anticipated by a lot of people. It might be. Personally, I'm looking forward to see if DC can make a movie like Wonder Woman again. Justice League, in my opinion, was an alright movie, but it wasn't as good as Wonder Woman, by far. Hopefully Aquaman can be another really great movie like that. But I'm just wondering, like, how big is it really going to be? Well, let's be honest here. But either way, I'm just wondering what's going to end up happening with a lot of the movies this year, because I know that Disney went out and bought Fox and whatnot. They own a lot of Fox properties. And I know a lot of people in the Marvel community definitely want them to bring back, like, the X-Men they want to introduce into the Marvel Universe. And everyone, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people want the Fantastic Four to be reintroduced in the Marvel Universe to an actual good movie. Now, the first movie that came out, Chris Evans, actually, by the way, for those of you who didn't know, who plays Captain America, played Human Torch in the original two movies, Rise of the Silver Surfer and the first one where they get their powers and take on Doctor Doom. I actually thought he was good in that role, to be honest. A lot of people think that he was garbage, but I think it was alright. Not my favorite role, but he was alright. But it actually ended up being a case where, though the last movie was trash, everybody hated it pretty much, but people really want Marvel to bring that back, and I don't know if... Oh, hey, Jesse, what's going on, man? I was just wondering if anybody was going to end up showing up at this time. I know I'm glad you're live also. Thanks, man, I appreciate that. Yeah, I know I started streaming a little bit later than what I usually would. It's 11:37 right now, and to be honest, I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to be streaming or not, so I was just kind of wondering if anyone was going to show. That's why I was kind of talking about Infinity War. I mean, kind of wondering if people are going to be here, answer some questions, chat, kind of like the other day. But, yeah, I was just talking about a lot of different things that are going on with the movie industry, with Marvel, and, all these other big film franchises nowadays. I'm just curious to see if anything's going to end up going down with those franchises, to be honest. But, again, if you guys watch on YouTube or live or anything, have any questions or anything, I'd be more than happy to answer them for that kind of thing. Oh, hey, Phil, what's going on? What's your opinion on the old Spider-Man movies? As far as my opinion on the old Spider-Man movies go, I actually really enjoyed the original ones. Love Spider-Man. We're talking about the, not Tom Holland, no, he was the second Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire, the original Tobey Maguire trilogy. I enjoyed Spider-Man 1. I really enjoyed Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 3 was okay, but I think they had too many villains and they could have saved like Venom or Sandman for like a future installment. But I really enjoyed the first two original movies, and I really did enjoy the third one was alright. Have I ever been to Chicago, Jesse? No, I haven't been to Chicago. However, Chicago is on my bucket list. I believe I mentioned this before. Chicago is on my bucket list of places to go in America. That's one of the cities that I want to visit. I have been up to New York, so that place was off my list. I didn't visit LA, but I drove through it while I was on vacation last year in California. So I want to have a more in-depth look at LA. And as we mentioned before, I definitely want to visit Nashville and whatnot down there in Tennessee. There's a couple places where I actually want to go. Just not right now, obviously, because I'm in college and I can't exactly, go there in the middle of my semester or year. And even if I could, I'd actually want to go with somebody instead of going by myself, if that makes any sense. Saves on travel expenses and whatnot. So, I haven't been to Chicago, but I would love to go to Chicago, to answer that question. Love to go and see, like, the Sears Tower and stuff they have up there. That would be cool to go see, honestly. Well, that tea is done. But, I'm going to switch this back over to the search bar in case we search anything up here on the stream. What am I doing? No, that is clicking with the wrong thing. Really wish I would have streamed earlier, to be honest with you guys. That way I would have been in that usual time that I would normally stream, because I've always said between 10 and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's the time I always still will. Hashtag Sweet Tea is the best. Yeah! Bringing back the Sweet Tea hashtags from the other day. Still going strong. Probably still not Twitter, Twitter trending yet, but we'll get there eventually, guys. All we gotta do is assemble a decent amount of people, but we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. Hashtag Tea Army Strong. Or Sweet Tea Army Strong. There we go. Or as Patrick would say, cannibalized tea. Or something. Hashtag cannibalized tea or something like that. I don't know. Hashtag where is old man Patrick? I have no idea where Patrick is, guys. Patrick, I have no idea, to be honest. Patrick, I don't know. I mean, it's always cool when we have Patrick here. When we got Patrick here, when we got you guys here, that night where we had that whole bunch of people there, Harry and all those guys that showed up. It was always cool to have hashtag bring Patrick home. Well, if Patrick ends up showing up, we're definitely going to have to show him these hashtags here. Because we definitely need old man Patrick back. Because, it's cool with everybody here. But, Patrick has been a usual face on these streams for a while. And it's always nice to see another classic face, despite the fact that he's old and probably needs all that wrinkle cream. I haven't sent it to him yet. Unfortunately, I haven't. I need to get his shipping address. But when I do, I'll be sending him some. So, I'll definitely be sending him that wrinkle cream. I should start a Patreon. No, I'm not even getting into that. I'm not starting a Patreon for wrinkle cream for him. That's not going to happen. Because I know that there is a lot of, controversies that come up in the community and whatnot for YouTubers that start Patreon. Mostly with big YouTubers, but with me personally, since I don't do YouTube for money, that doesn't really bother me, and I would probably never set one up unless I was a big enough YouTuber, that kind of thing. But honestly, I'm not saying that it's a terrible idea. I'll get him life alert. Give him life alert. Hey, if he falls and he can't get Jesse, Phil, Patrick will love you for that, because if he ever falls and he can't get up and his hip gives out or something, or like he slips and falls on the linoleum because he dropped a stick of butter from cooking his potatoes or whatever, he will definitely be thanking you. Life Alert will save his life. So, he will definitely... Phil, you are a national treasure, my dude. You are an amazing hero. That would be hilarious to see, though. I gotta be honest. I mean, I'm pretty sure he turned out alright, but that'd be funny just to see Patrick have to use Life Alert for something. That'd be pretty bad, though, if he couldn't, though. If he was in that bad a condition in his early 20s that he had to use Life Alert and he couldn't move anywhere, I wonder what's going on over there with him. Something's going down. I don't know what, but something is going down. Oh, my gosh. That makes sense. Oh, look at that. No community. Thankfully, that would never happen. Because why would anyone bother trying to steal content from anybody? Oh my goodness. We are still on the trending road to 1,000 subs. What is your favorite movie? Ooh, that's a differing one, Jesse, to be honest. Because I think Jordan, when she was here 2 streams ago, asked me that question. I'm still going to stick with my original answer. My favorite movie always constantly changes. Whether it be from Marvel, whether it be from, another movie franchise that I'm into. Currently, right now, as far as a favorite movie, I'm probably going to go with Captain America Civil War. I just really enjoyed the conflict between Cap and Iron Man. Just all the action and all the characters that they introduced. And frankly, Infinity War might beat that out. Or even Deadpool 2 when they come out. Those would be really cool. Have you seen Forrest? I love Forrest Gump, first off, Phil. And yes, I have indeed seen it. Forrest Gump is probably in my top 20 favorite movies. Not my number 1, but it's definitely one of my favorites. It was just really cool seeing a man that was expected, that had such a low IQ, that was expected to be stupid for the rest of his life. He made something of it. He became a multimillionaire. He has a son. He's successful, received many awards and commendations, and met several successful people, and even opened up a shrimp company. And for a man with 60-some IQ, very impressive. And I think Tom Hanks did a very brilliant job in that role. So Forrest Gump was a great movie. I love old classic movies like that, especially Forrest Gump. I like Forrest Gump. Yeah, Jesse, again, I agree with you. Forrest Gump is an amazing movie. Honestly. I really wish that they got a Medal of Honor. Yeah, he did get a Medal of Honor in the movie. He also won what was it? The table tennis championship, opened up a shrimp company, invested in Apple, and became a multimillionaire pretty much. Had a son with the love of his life, even though she passed away, sadly. He still has a son. He's set for the rest of his life. He never has to pay for anything. I mean, he still has to buy stuff, I'm not saying that, but he gets a ton of money because he invested in what he calls a fruit company, which turned out to be the most successful internet computer company of all time. So, lucky for him. I wish I was alive back then to do that, because then I'd probably have a ton of money right now. But you know what? I was born in the late 90s, so kind of wasn't around when the big stock market thing was big for investing in Microsoft or Apple or whatever. And I'm not saying that it's not worth investing in, but the stocks are so expensive. And stocks are a risk. Because if you put money into something that tanks later, you're never getting that money back. You're never going to make that money either, especially if you lose it all. It's kind of like gambling. I don't personally gamble, but it's addicting to a lot of people. Yeah, Jesse, I agree with you as well. It's just... Gambling's just... As far as gambling goes, the stock market is definitely crazy, man. Absolutely. Because as far as... It just depends on what you invest in. If you invest into... some things you can't invest in. Things like Apple, for example, like in Forrest Gump. That was really cheap to buy stock in, because that was before it got big and became a multi-billion-dollar company. Nowadays, since it is said multi-billion-dollar company, if you try and buy, if you try and buy stock into it, you're going to be shelling out a lot of money, my dudes. It is crazy how much money that you'd have to put into something that big just to get that money back. And that's not even guaranteeing it. Because it's like gambling, like I said. You don't know if you're going to be able to make it out of it. And, if you guys really want to find something to invest in, you guys can invest in my line of new, not stolen Daredevil mugs. I know I have to ship a couple of these out to some of the people from 2 streams ago. Because, I felt bad for them. They were going through difficult times. But if you guys want to invest $10,000 into the making of this exact Daredevil mug copy, I will be eternally grateful. $20,000 to make a freaking plastic mug with the face of a Marvel hero on it. If that cost 10 grand to make one of those, I'm gonna wonder what is going on with society, man. Seriously. Seriously. Because I cannot imagine that something like that would be that expensive. Because that'd be crazy, to be honest. Jeez, if you can find me a mug that's worth making that's worth putting $10,000 into, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to think about that. That's insane. What type of weather do you prefer? Ooh, I like, my preferred day is a day that is sunny, warm and sunshine outside. Maybe a little bit of rain, because the plants and trees, you know, even around where I live, they really need rain to survive, and they need a good mix of rain and sunshine. Maybe like a drizzle of rain here and there, but mostly sunny. And then in the evening, like as the sun's setting, nice, cool evening where I can just go and I can ride a side-by-side or a four-wheeler or something around the lake by my house. And just, you know, have a peaceful evening. That's the kind of day and weather that I envision for that day. And that's something that, when days like that have come, like around where I live, I love doing that stuff all the time, man. It's just great. That's the kind of weather I prefer. Like, some people that live in certain climates, they don't get that opportunity. People that live in colder climates that see winter all the time obviously aren't going to get all of that satisfaction. Yeah, I mean, peacefully cool evenings are very good, Jesse. That is something that I'm sure a decent amount of people at least prefer. But it's just nice to see, you know, that kind of thing where you can just get out and enjoy nature for a little bit. It's not hot. You're not scorching yourself, and you're not getting soaked with rain or snow or anything like that either. It's just nice, cool, brisk evening. Going out, have a ride, go for a walk, go out for dinner or something with your girlfriend. Steal stuff. Don't steal stuff. That was a joke. We're not steal. I don't condone stealing here. We're not going to do that. No, we're not doing that. But yeah, it's just weather like that I prefer out of all the weather that, you know, I could possibly think of. Definitely one of the best times that I could ever think of to do anything like riding. And that's the kind of thing that I hope I get a lot more of now that the spring season is transitioning around where I live. Because we had such a terrible winter up here. Like on the upper East Coast where I live, up in Maryland, we got slammed with so much snow, man. It seemed like we got buried a lot. We got over 10 inches within like 2 days. And it was crazy. And it was like that for over a week. And it was actually like a couple days like earlier this week where the sun came out and it started melting all of it. It's clear outside now. You wouldn't be able to tell. Yeah, or the nor'easter. Funny thing was, my science and I'm in college. My science and tech teacher actually told us that you know, there's this bad nor'easter coming in that we might get literally buried alive in snow, so we wouldn't have class. We didn't have class, which was a good thing for me at least, because that means I didn't have to get up that early. Unfortunately, we had a ton of snow to deal with, and for like 2 days, I didn't leave my house because there was that. Okay, maybe like a day and a half that I didn't leave my house because there was so much snow, man. It was crazy, and I'm just so glad that the weather is nicer now. It's sunny, it's warm. There's no snow on the ground. I'm not saying I hate snow because, you know, I was born on the first day of winter anyway. So, okay, birthday revealed there if you don't know what that is. I was born on the first day of winter, so it's not like I can't avoid winter when it comes to when I was born, because, you know, late December, right? 4 days before Christmas. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I was born 4 days before Christmas. But it's just that kind of, weather around here. It depends on where you live in the world, like I said earlier. Florida, California, you get really warm weather. Sierra, aka the Chosen One. Oh, hello. Welcome to the stream. So glad you could make it. We were just talking about different preferred climates of weather and whatnot. We're just having discussions, answering questions for the, a Q&A type thing, that kind of thing. I was just telling you, I don't know where you guys live in the world, or if you guys have to deal with Big Smoke, December 21st. Yes, Phil, that is my birthday, December 21st, first day of winter, 4 days before Christmas. Yeah, the funny thing is, a lot of people that are born around that time, around Christmas time, they always get the okay, this might be true for some people. that they don't get like as many presents like on their birthday because they're so close to Christmas. Oh, Sierra, you're born on December 29th. Oh, wow. So 4 days after Christmas. That's kind of funny, actually. I was born 4 days before Christmas, but you were born 4 days after Christmas. So that's pretty cool. And Jesse, you live... Oh, you're a Capricorn, too. Oh. That's pretty cool, too. And Jesse, you live a bit north of Nashville. Okay, so Jesse, I have no idea. As far as Tennessee goes, I don't know if you guys get, like, crazy amounts of snow like what we got from, like, that nor'easter. Because I know up here in Maryland, we got a ton of snow, like I said. I don't know if you guys up there in Tennessee got slammed with snow as well. But if you did, I hope you guys stayed warm. And if you guys didn't, you guys are lucky. But actually, now that I think about it, I think my zodiac sign... I'm not 100% on this. We only get pretty good snow in January. Okay, so you guys didn't get slammed too bad from the sounds of it, which is good for you guys. That means you guys didn't freeze your butts off. Phil, do you ever go fishing? Yes, I do actually go fishing. Obviously, but not a ton. Oh, again, reason about snow, I don't mind. I'm not saying I despise winter, because I don't by any means, but I don't like getting buried alive in feet of snow. And Phil, to answer your question, I do indeed go fishing. I don't go ice fishing or anything like that, although my stepdad actually goes ice fishing with his friends, which I don't always entirely get, being out there, sitting on the lake, freezing your butt off, but you know what? Everyone is their own person, so I respect that. But I do go fishing, mostly in the summer and in the spring, like late spring. Like the weather that I've had lately over the past couple days, I could go fishing in. But again, it also depends on, like, fishing license, the season, that kind of thing. But I do indeed go fishing, and it's mostly over the summer that I actually end up going fishing. There is a couple of there's a lake down by where I live. Yeah, I don't get it either, Phil, to be honest. It's one of those things, to be honest. But there's actually a really good lake down where I live. I don't like the cold. Being a Floridian, I have to have warmth. Well, lucky you, Sierra. You don't have to deal with the tons of snow that we get up here further up on the East Coast. So lucky you. Consider yourself lucky, because if you had to deal with all that, ugh. I mainly creek and lake fish. Yeah, Phil, same here. I do go... We actually have a creek near where I live called Bear Creek Run. And, well, it's not really nearby. It's like 20, 25 miles. But it's so worth the drive, though. Because they got a ton of trout down there. They got bass. They do have a lot of... They have perch and stuff. They have a lot of good fish up there. Now, there's another there's another lake up where I live near El Retardo. Welcome to the stream, man. And what's your opinion of resurrecting Hitler and starting the Fourth Reich? No, I do not support anything as far as Hitler goes or starting any Fourth Reich. So, yeah, I'm not really interested in that. But, anyway... Yeah, I love... trout's really good, man, to be honest. I've caught a couple trout in my time. Mostly, though, when I go casual fishing, if it's not like a full-blown fishing trip where I go, like, 20, 25 miles to some place, or 10 to 15 miles to some other places I end up going, there's a lake called Piney Run that I end up going to, and that place, it doesn't have, like, huge fish. It has decent-sized fish. Mostly sunfish and some carp and whatnot up there, but they're not huge fish like you would get at, like, at Bear Creek, like I mentioned before. But it's a nice place to go casually fishing, park your car, walk over. They have all these different trail stands that you can walk down, different little beach areas alongside the lake. And it's just good to go out there for a couple hours, throw out the pole, drown some bait, so to speak, see if you catch anything. The funny thing was, several years ago, don't really do this much anymore, mostly just casually fishing instead of getting them and cooking them, although my dad still does that, though. Several years back, there's a lake near my house where my old neighbor, before she passed away, we used to dump fish in that lake because she would always catch the fish and eat them. And we mostly got them from, it also populated the lake because it helped a couple other people in the neighborhood, which was really good because some of them can't go down and fish on their own. What we ended up doing was we went down to Piney and we'd always catch these sunfish. It was mostly sunfish. We would catch some 5 or 6 fish in a day sometimes, and we went for 2 or 3 hours, normally like a day, and we had this big bucket that we'd fill up with water, and we keep them alive on the way home. Jesse, have you been to North Carolina? I have been to North Carolina, Jesse. I have fished up that way. Not fished, wow. I have been up that way for vacations. Mostly I head down to the North Carolina, South Carolina area for Myrtle Beach. That, out of all the vacation spots I've ever been to, that is the one I go to the most. Before other stuff earlier this year, I went every single year to Myrtle Beach for my summer break, summer vacation with my mom. And that was about, I've been to Myrtle Beach, I'm not kidding, like 11 or 12 times in my life, because I'm 19. It might have been more. It might have been like 14 or 15. It's been more than 10 times, I will say that. But I have been down through there, and I hope to actually go down again. Not so much to just go to the beach, because, I do actually like the beach. But I'd actually like to end up going down there as well to, like, just go down there and visit, see all the different stuff that's down there. Have you been to Gulf Shores, Alabama? I have not been down that way. I haven't been to Gulf Shores, but I have heard some of my friends have been down that way on vacation. They told me some good things about it, but I have not personally been there. However, that's another place that I could add on my list of places to go for when I'm older. That kind of thing. That's your number one favorite vacation spot. If that's your number one favorite vacation spot, Phil, that sounds like it might be a cool place to go. But honestly, like, the only beach area... I've been to Ocean City up here in Maryland once when I was younger. I haven't been back since. The beach location I've been to the most is Myrtle Beach, and that's been the most consistent vacation spot that I've been through throughout my life. So, to be honest though, I would rather go out and explore different areas, because I've been to Myrtle Beach so many times. I'd rather go out and see if there's like any other good vacation spots out there. And, I'm always open to suggestions. If you guys have any like spots near where you live that are like good to go vacation, it doesn't even have to be a beach. It can really be anywhere that you can just go and enjoy yourself, that kind of thing. Because it's a vacation. You're supposed to relax on vacation. It's not supposed to be like a stressful type environment or anything like that. And I'm always up to hear like different, vacation spots that you guys recommend or you guys have been to that you think are good. Jesse, have you ever been out of country? I have indeed been out of country. I've been to the Bahamas before on a cruise. That was actually one of the that was the first and only time so far in my life that I've been out of the country. I went to the Bahamas on Carnival Cruise Lines. That is a popular cruise. I was going to say airline. It's not an airline. It's a cruise company. But I ended up going to the Bahamas for an entire week. I went to 3 different islands down there. I went to Half Moon Cay. That was the private island owned by Carnival. I went to Freeport, which is the biggest export... That's the biggest export island in the Bahamas. And I went to another island that's basically a beach resort island. It was actually really cool to go. The Bahamas were so beautiful. The water was clear. The beaches were pearly white. It was an amazing experience, and I really hope someday to go back, because I'd love to go on another cruise, because the ship itself was cool. And since after a couple months after I got off that particular cruise ship, they added a whole bunch of stuff to it. And I don't know if I'll ever go on that particular ship again, but if I ever go on, like with Carnival, for example, I really hope that the cruise ship is definitely upgraded. Oh, and Jesse and Phil, you definitely need to visit Gatlinburg, Tennessee. To be honest, I've never really heard of that place much. Is there anything, what's so special about it? I have no idea. That's what I'm kind of asking you guys. Is there, like, what's there, like, in Gatlinburg? Because from the sound of it, you guys have been there, and it sounds like a good location from what you guys are saying, but, like, what's there? Is there, like, I can't even think of an example. I have no idea. I've never even heard of this place, to be completely honest. But it sounds like a good place. I mean, again, like I said, I'm always open to suggestions. But yeah, I've never heard of this place. Now, if I could just... There was a great wildfire there and has some pretty mountains and great hotels and resorts. That's another thing I love about some locations that I've been to on vacation, because I've been to more places than just the beach. Arizona, California. I've been to a lot of different places as far as summer vacations go, or over summer vacation, I should say. Florida. I've been to Florida a couple times, and I went there. Actually, that was the vacation that I went on last year. I went down to Disney World down there, and I do like hiking, and I love mountains. Good hotels and resorts up in the mountains is something that I've wanted to do. Hopefully, the wildfire there wasn't too bad from the sound of it, but hiking sounds like a lot of fun up in that area, so I'll definitely have to check that out. Actually, on that Tennessee vacation that I mentioned to you guys, I actually went on a big hiking trek up there. I don't remember the exact name of the mountain or the mountain range, but it was a long hike. We hiked a couple of miles, me and my family, and Oh, it burnt your cabin down. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. No one got hurt or anything, right? Hopefully you guys were... I don't know if you guys might have been able to, because if the fire was that bad, but hopefully you guys were able to salvage some stuff out of it, or rebuild your cabin, or get a new one or something like that, because that sucks, man. I'm sorry. No, okay, good, no one was there, so thankfully nobody got hurt. That would have been pretty bad. So that's a positive. Did you guys end up rebuilding the cabin then, or did you guys get a new one, or... Because from the sound of it, it sounds like the thing was destroyed. But, you know, on the plus side, nobody was there to get hurt. That's the important thing about it. That's a very important detail. But, why am I even bothering trying to log into this? You know, I can't on this laptop. Son of a gun, I did not want to log out of both tabs. Let me go back here. Great. But yeah, that sounds, Gatlinburg sounds like... Well, it wasn't ours, but it was a relative's, but we stayed there a lot. Okay. Well, even though if it wasn't yours, hopefully your relatives got it replaced then. It sounds like you had some fun there, though, so they didn't rebuild it. Oh. Well, I mean, this sounds kind of... I know this sounds bad because, you know, I don't know how long it's been since that cabin burned down, but hopefully you guys did have a lot of fun there for the cabin while it was still there. I'm sorry that it burned down, and I'm sorry that it was never rebuilt. I don't know how I would react if that would happen to me. I would have been... Me personally, I can't speak toward it because I've never had a cabin that I've owned burned down, obviously, but that'd make me... I'd be pretty upset, to be honest. If something that I cherished and I went with vacations on and put a lot of work and, you know, pride into, I would hate to see that destroyed. But yeah, man, I'm sorry about that. But besides that, it sounds like Gatlinburg is actually sounds like a good place to go on vacation. I might actually look into that, you know, because again, summer's coming up. I don't know what kind of vacation that I'm going to be going on, but I guess we're just going to have to see. There was an arcade machine there that had so many 1980s games on it. Dude, that sounds cool, actually. I've thought about getting something like that for the longest time, like a pinball machine or an arcade machine or something like that. But dang, man, that's cool. Actually, a bunch of... Do you know what kind of games were on there? I'm assuming you've played it from the sound of it, but what kind of games were on there anyway? Because classic 1980s games on an arcade machine, that sounds awesome. That sounds cool. Why haven't I thought of that? I mean, I've considered getting something like that to put in my basement, for example, or, you know, I can't fit one in my room right now if I wanted to. But I've always thought about getting like a pinball machine or like an old arcade machine or something like that. I'm just fascinated with old games and, you know, old stuff like that people used to go in like in the 80s and 90s and play in arcades and game shops and whatnot. And they still do that today. There's a game shop near my house that still has a Ghostbusters pinball machine, and I think they used to have a Tornado pinball machine as well, but they don't have that one anymore. And they used to have an old, the original Mario that came out, the 8-bit Mario. Like the first one. They used to have that in an arcade machine too, but they don't have that anymore either. I don't know what they did with them, but they just shut off that back arcade room for whatever reason. And Pac-Man, Galaga, 1942, Street Fighter, Space Invaders. Wow, man, there sounds like there was a ton of games on there. They sound like classic games. The most notable ones that I take away from that are Pac-Man, Street Fighter, and Space Invaders. Actually, I played the original Pac-Man. I have played the original Street Fighter. I haven't played Galaga or 1942. I've never even heard of 1942. What is that? Is that a platformer, shooter? Is that some kind of beat 'em up, kind of like Street Fighter? Or you can't call Pac-Man a beat 'em up. Pac-Man's not a beat 'em up. That's more of a... Pac-Man I would consider a strategy game, if anything, because you kind of have to maneuver to collect all the pellets in the level and avoid getting destroyed and killed by the ghosts, so I'd say it's more a strategy-based game. But... Yeah, I've never heard of 1942. That actually sounds cool. Actually, give me a second here. I'm actually curious about that. I'll type that into the search engine that is the internet. 1942. I'm actually curious about this game. The game. Alright, Phil, you'll be back in 5 minutes. Alright, man, well, I'll still be here in 5 minutes, so don't worry. Gotta take a shower. Alright, man. Well, I'll still be here probably when you get back, so... Alright. I'll see you in a bit then, Phil. Ah, dang it. Jesse, it's a bird's eye view perspective game where you are flying around a plane in 1942. Oh, that sounds awesome. So is this like a World War II style game? Because if we're talking about like firing at enemies in a plane, that kind of sounds like World War II. I want to see some images of this. Okay, so that's basically what it is. That sounds cool though, man, to be honest. Yeah, it's a scrolling shoot 'em up made by Capcom that was released for the arcade in 1984. Oh, it was set during the battle. It was followed by 1943, the Battle of Midway. So they made a sequel to this game, apparently. I don't know if you, Jesse and Phil, knew that. But they made a sequel to it called 1943, the Battle of Midway. That sounds cool. I cannot believe that they made a couple of original games, like, back in the 80s, based off of historical battles from World War II. That sounds awesome. That sounds like a game right up my alley. For an old video game perspective and for historical perspective. That sounds awesome. I didn't know they made a sequel. That's awesome. Yeah, man, this is coming from a guy who has never even heard of 1942, and I'm fascinated by the fact that they made a sequel to it. But that is cool. Yeah, you can look it up if you want to, man. Yeah, 1943, the Battle of Midway. That game came out, I think, the year after or so, after 1942 came out. But yeah, man, that's awesome. To be honest, it's just... I can't believe I've never heard of this. There's a lot of old games that I have to look up and get caught up with. Because that's awesome. Like, my gosh. I have to find out where I can get it, though. The problem with getting old games, though, nowadays is, like, I mentioned it with Spyro and Crash games. A lot of the games from like the 90s and 80s are so expensive now that unless you download them on an emulator or you buy them for PC or something like that, you're going to be paying a lot of money for like the original games, for like the PlayStation, the N64, the Atari, that kind of thing. Old game systems like that, if you want to get those games, you have to do a lot of searching and shell out a decent amount of money. And frankly, I'd rather not shell out a couple $100 for a game from like a copy of Metroid. For, you know, or something like that. I don't even know if Metroid is even worth that much money, to be honest. Because there are a lot of old games out there that are worth a decent amount of money. Actually, go on. Just curious to see how much that kind of stuff goes on over on Amazon. So, I'll type in 1942, see how much the game is going for over there. 1942 video game. There we go. Video game. Oh, wow. They actually have a copy of it for $10 here on Amazon. I did not know that. So if you guys are looking for a copy of 1942, for those of you guys watching live and on YouTube, if you guys are interested in looking that up or getting a copy off Amazon, they have 29 used copies of it for $10. And it looks like it comes with the original box and the game itself, which, if this image is to be believed, that what I'm looking at here looks like it's still in good condition. Dang, though, that's cool, though. I may get this one day. What I'm going to actually do first is, if I'm interested, if I end up actually picking up the game, I'm going to go to a local game store in my area that sells old video games, because they, besides like Xbox One, 360, PS4, and Wii games, as much as they're worth, they sell mostly old video games, like Game Boy, N64. They do sell a lot of Atari and PS1 games. They sell a lot of really old school games, and they sell some still old school consoles, so that might be something I'm gonna have to check out. And they even sell the Sega Saturn there. I'm not even kidding. I don't know. The thing with this particular shop is they have a ton of stuff in like glass cases and stuff that you can buy. But there's like an entire, like the top of the store is just littered with like old gaming merchandise. And I'm not just talking old video games, like boxes, toys, figurines, advertisements, posters. There's a ton of old gaming stuff that the owner of the store has collected and he puts on display. And unfortunately, you can't buy any of them unless you get explicit permission from the owner, which I have no idea who he is, so I couldn't anyway. It would be neat if they named Battlefield 5 Battlefield 1944, since the first Battlefield game was 1942. Then there was Battlefield 1943, then maybe 19... That would be cool if they followed the Battlefield series in sequential order and did, like you mentioned here, Jesse. Let me pull that up. Yeah, if they did like 1944, that would be cool if they ended up doing that. But I don't know if they'll end up doing that nowadays. I mean, we've made a large leap in gaming technology from the 80s to 2018, and that's been the span of what? Over 20. No, that's been like 30 years, hasn't it? Let's see, 84. Let's assume 84. 84. That's 30 years. It's been more than 30 years. Yeah, it is insane, man. Just in the span of 30 years, we've gone from old school, like the old school Mario game, to like COD, like modern day COD, like Call of Duty World War II. Compare those graphics to the old graphics we had in the 80s, and it just goes to show what amazing technology that we've gotten in that time period. With especially like talking toward video games, oh my gosh, there's just a ton of advancements, and there's just a ton of opportunities to, and even like the introduction of VR. That just goes to show how much video games are progressing. And I do like that aspect of everything, the fact that we are continuously advancing that way. But we got to remember the old school video games too, and we got to love and cherish them. Plus, if you're going to get them, if you have any right now, guys, keep a hold of them, because they don't make them anymore. And those games are going to be ancient history someday. Take another 30 years from now, and those games are barely going to be around, if any. They probably won't be sold anywhere. And to be honest, those games are going to be worth a ton of money if you'd even ever consider selling them. So if you have any old like PlayStation games, even PS2, the PS2 is going to end up being like the way that we think of like the N64 now. People like 30 years from now are going to be thinking of the PS2 the same way. That's probably what's going to end up happening, and it's just crazy to think systems that we still consider new today are going to end up being considered old in the future. Yeah, it'd be very sad if the 80s games became very... Yeah, I mean, the 80s games are rare enough now as it is, 30-some years after a lot of them were made. And they're rare now. Imagine imagine how rare they're gonna be another 30, 40 years from now, back in the 2030s, 2040s. Imagine what all those games are gonna be worth then, or how rare they're gonna be. I mean, it's just crazy. Continuous advancements in everything when it comes to gaming. And those old games, they'll be gone. Hopefully they don't end up like E.T. and end up buried in a landfill in New Mexico, because the game was that bad. And yes, they confirmed that thousands of copies were buried in a landfill. And they dug them up, and of course they still float around. Yeah, Jesse, I mean, it's just insane, to be honest. It really is. There's nothing else really to say about it other than wow. Just thinking how far we've all come in video games, or how society has come. Not us, not just us, just video games in general. It is insane, man. Oh my. Man, it just goes to show. Those games are going to be a ton desirable. They are now. But are they even going to really be around? I hope that doesn't end up being the case, to be honest. Where, we never see any of them ever again. Because that'd be disappointing. I'd be upset by that. Because it's just recently that I started getting back into older games, Games that I wish I would have gotten into, what I missed. We were Phil, what you missed was we were talking about old video games. We were talking about how rare a lot of the games from the 80s were worth, and how rare they're going to be in the future, and how far we've come as far as gaming advancements go. And we also looked up, did you know that 1942 had a sequel called 1943, The Battle of Normandy? We just found that out too. Jesse didn't know, and obviously I had no idea, because I had never even heard of 1942. But if you didn't know that it had a sequel, you know now. Because we're all just finding out new things about video games nowadays then. Just move the a bit. Oh, really? 1943 was on the arcade machine too? I had no idea about that. Wow. Huh. Seriously? Wow. I wonder if they made that's crazy too, man. That arcade machine, how many games did it even have on it? Because it sounds like it had a decent amount of games. Because, I mean, wow. That's pretty good, don't get me wrong, but dang. Was it like one of those arcade machines that like came pre-programmed with like 20, 30 games on it? Because I've seen, I haven't really personally seen any, like myself, but I have heard of arcade machines like that before. That ended up being like chock full of games. Because, I mean, wow. It's just incredible, to be honest. Just the innovations that we all come up with as far as technology goes. Because, oh, buddy, there's so many great games out there. About 800 games? No joke. Wow. That's a ton, dude. That is a ton of games. I was thinking like it was 20 or 30 games. 800 games? 200. Okay, so it had 200. That's still a ton of games. Wow, 200 games. Do they even sell anything like that on Amazon nowadays? Arcade machine or games, whatever. I'm curious to see if they sell anything like this nowadays. They do, actually. Well, yeah, man, there's a ton of stuff. Actually, they do. They have something listed here on Amazon. Mini arcade game retro machines for kids with 200 classic handheld video games, home travel portable gaming system. Well, it's a children's novelty arcade, but it's for $22.48 on Amazon with Amazon Prime, and it's 200 built-in games. And looking, son of a gun, I keep clicking around. There we go. They also have a arcade retro handheld gaming system with 200 built games into it as well for $20. It looks to me like a lot of these arcade machines that they have here are $20 to $30 on Amazon. But then again, it's with Prime though. You have to have Amazon Prime for some of these. So I don't know what they would normally be if you didn't have a Prime account. That is a ton of stuff though, man. Wow. I'm surprised that they packed that many games into like an arcade cabinet or a machine. That's insane. Because I've never played anything like that before, to be honest. I mean, I played they came out with the DS retro game versions that had like 20, 30 games on it, and including Galaga. They had Galaga on that. They had a couple other games on there too, but I don't have the game really anymore for the Nintendo DS. But I played that a couple times when I was younger, a couple years back. Well, when I say younger, it's not like I was 10 when I played it. I was like 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, when I was like 14, 15. I mean, that's incredible. I wish they keep making stuff like this. They keep bringing back older consoles and older games. Because, a ton of people are really into that stuff. I mean, why do you think they keep like bringing back like these old school games and consoles and whatnot? I mean, I don't know, man. I just find that really, really cool, the whole concept of everything like that. The older games are awesome. I'll definitely say that. Oh, my. Well, I hate to say this, guys, but it is 12:21 where I am right now. We've been streaming for about an hour and 3 minutes, if you want to get exact. I'm actually going to probably end off the stream here a little bit earlier than what I would have. Normally, I like to stream for about an hour and 30 minutes. And to answer your question, Jesse, yes, I do have pets. If you were here for that stream 2 streams ago where you saw my dog, Gunts, he's one of my dogs. I have 2 dogs, including him. Used to have a cat. She passed away, sadly. We used to have piranhas. They passed away like 2 years ago. But we currently have 3 fish tanks, a bearded dragon, chickens, and rabbits out back, not in the house. Yeah, happy Easter, Phil. Yeah, like I was saying, yeah, happy Easter to you guys. I'm probably going to end up the stream a bit early. I'm getting tired. It's the night before. Actually, it's technically Easter now, so yeah, I'm going to get to bed at a decent time because I'm actually leaving a little bit earlier tomorrow to go to a dinner, so happy Waster. Easter. Sorry, nah, you're all good, Jesse. Have a great day and God bless. Yeah, same to you guys. Have a happy Easter. Thank you, Phil and Jesse, for tuning in. Thank you to the other people who stopped in briefly. And I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow night, guys. I'm not going to 100% say that I'm going to, like, tonight. But check back in between 10 and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to, if you see me streaming then, you can come back and say hi, and that kind of thing. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to you guys again live, and thank you to you guys who are watching on YouTube for watching this. Have a happy Easter, everybody, and I will see you guys in the next video coming out Monday, and I'll see you in a stream either tomorrow night or Monday night. Either way, thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later. Peace, dudes.